Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome and join with me for the third Sunday reflection of the Advent season. Dear friends in Jesus Christ, normally when we give any gift to others, when we receive any gift from others, we try to give the best, we try to receive the best. Because in giving and receiving, we experience plenty of happiness. Similarly, God has given us the gift of our lives. And this gift not only made out of happiness, but also made out of other experiences like sorrows, difficulties, struggles, joy, happiness, laughter, cry, etc. But above all these experiences, the core meaning of our gift as our life in this world is to rejoice and to pray continuously. And this is the particular theme for this Sunday to reflect. Rejoice always and pray continuously. And there are so many people, those who experienced the joy of God in their life, even in the midst of their struggles, even in the midst of their painful experiences. And we are going to see some of the people who experienced the joy of God even in the midst of their struggles. We see, first of all, the prophet Nehemiah, chapter 8, verse 10. He says, "Go and rejoice, do not grieve, because the joy of the Lord is our strength." In other words, he is telling to us nothing is permanent, everything will change. All situations, there is an end, and there is always new things. There is always hope. There is always prosperity in every difficulties. And he is asking us to move on with the life, experience the joy of God even in our struggles. And we also see the prophet Isaiah, and we all must know that he is the one of the tortured prophets in the Old Testament, and he is also known as the suffering servant of God. He experienced a lot of pain, struggles, rejections from his own people, but he experienced the joy of God. Because he experienced the joy of God, he shouted out to the people, saying, "The Spirit of the Lord is with me. He has anointed me to proclaim the good news to the poor, to the needy, to release the people from the prison." And he has that courage and the presence of joy with him, and he is able to continue to proclaim what the God is asking him to do. And we also see St. Paul, he says to his people, especially the readers of his letter, "Be happy, pray continually." Be happy always. That's one of the most things we are lacking in our life. We are not happy. Our happiness is limited with some material things. Our happiness limited for some days. And St. Paul insisting us that we need to continue the happiness of the Lord in our life for a long time. And we need to continue to pray for always, for everything. And we see Mother Mary. Mother Mary, though she is the mother of God, she experienced a lot of turmoils, a lot of problems in her life. She did not know who the man is, but she was pregnant, and she has to travel miles after miles carrying the baby Jesus inside her womb. She experienced a lot of rejections. People might have spoke about her very badly because she became pregnant without knowing the man. So many kinds of things she might have been experienced, but still she has the heart, the joyful heart to say, "My soul magnifies the Lord, because he has done marvelous things in my life." And we also see Jesus, even at his crucifixion, he was praying to his people, those who persecuted him, "Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing." These are the words comes to the people, those who really experience the joy of the Lord. The presence of the joy in their lives makes them to laugh even in their struggles. The presence of the Lord, the joy of the Lord, gives them courage and strength to stand against all the problems and give them hope to see the newness after that particular problems. And now all these people experienced the joy of God because they had the reason to experience the joy of God. What are the reasons for us that we must be rejoicing always and pray continuously? Rejoice knowing who you are. Jesus says himself he is a son of God. His Father has given him all the things under his authority. He came from God and he will be returning to God. And we also must recognize the sonship, that we all came from God and we will be returning to God. So we have no option than just rejoicing, being a son of God. Rejoice in surrendering ourselves to God's timing. We read our prayer, especially the prayer that was taught by Jesus, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done." Let us allow the Spirit of God to intervene in our life. Let us allow the Spirit to come and fulfill in God's plan in our lives rather than fulfilling our desires and finding God's will in our life. Rejoice even in the midst of fear and uncertainties, because we are not the author of our lives. God has created us and God will come to rescue us. All that we can do is surrender our fear and uncertainties and have a full freedom of dependence on God. Rejoice in prayer. Prayer is a weapon for us to communicate and to sustain our relationship with God. Today we don't have time to pray with God. We don't feel that we have time that we need to spend for prayer. But anyone who spends time in prayer also rejoice always. And rejoice in unconditional love of God. We see the prophet Jeremiah, what he says, "Before I was formed in the womb of my mom, God called me my name, and he has anointed me to become the servant of God." We all must experience the same thing, that we are called by God and he loves us unconditionally. And we need to love unconditionally. Once we realize the unconditional love of God in our lives, we all must rejoice. We all must pray continuously and give God thanks forever. And rejoice in loving others. Just like a good Samaritan, we need to show our love, our care, our affection, our concern, our support by loving others. By loving others, we also experience the joy of God. So let us continue to thank God, let us continue to rejoice, and let us continue to pray. May God bless you all.